Hello and welcome to another amazing episode of Complacency Learning. As always, I'm your host, Ndibo Chibase, and I have to say that every day is a good day to learn, That's why we bring you nothing but the best, We bring you like authentic content, realistic content, We bring you all the content from the people that have been in the field long enough to actually understand the ever-changing dynamics that happens within the industry, And on today's episode, we have Siviwe Boyce. Siviwe Boyce is a cloud scientist and a mathematician, and she has been involved in a whole lot of things, including tutoring, research, Asia World Model, United Nations, Gradstar Top 500, 2020, Activate Switch 2020, Design 101 director. And I can assure you that she has an amazing content to share with us, And this is the content that you don't want to miss because this content is the one that's actually going to help you develop and grow to reach greater heights of success, So with that being said, I really would strongly suggest or recommend that you go grab some popcorns because it's about to go down. Like when I say it's about to go down, I'm not saying that you're gonna be sitting here bored. I'm saying that you're gonna be entertained and you're gonna have so much to learn, So go grab some popcorns and enjoy the episode. Hi, Siviwe. Welcome to another amazing episode of Complacency Learning. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thank you. Thank you for having me. I've been looking forward to having this session with you. But yeah, thank you for having me.
It's actually an honor to have you on today's episode, hey? And I believe that there's so much more to learn about you, and from the content that you're gonna share with us. Right.
I look forward, to getting to hear what you have in store for
Mm.
me, what you want to ask, and get to like hear what your viewers have to say as well in the comments,
Mm.
and what probably type of questions they would have.
All right, not a problem. I'm so happy that you're looking forward to it, which makes it even more interesting, So before I start with the first question, can I just ask you to tell us a bit about yourself and what you do?
Okay. So my name is Siviwe Boyce. I am 27 years old, and currently I work at Vodacom as a cloud data scientist. And that means a lot of different things, but we'll get into it. But it's like very specific. It's just being a data scientist, but like in a very specific field. So yeah, I'm a data scientist by profession. I studied data science, mathematics, but outside of just being a work person and being an academic person, I do host a YouTube show. I used to host one with my friends, and that one we used to call Creatives Live. But then now I just host my own show. It's basically just a lifestyle YouTube channel. I am also just like involved in social medias, in the social media spaces, trying to tap into the influencer marketing. So yeah, that's a little bit about me in terms of like work and just outside of work. And there probably is a lot of things that I'm not mentioning right now, but I'm finding comfort in knowing that like as we go, we'll have questions and we'll chat a little bit more about that. But yeah, thanks. That's usually the most difficult question, by the way. When you ask somebody to talk about
Uh,
themselves, yeah, it gets a
mm.
bit difficult. But yeah, that's a little bit about me.
I have to say that I salute you for what you do. I mean, like also looking at the things that you're involved with that we're gonna discuss as time goes in this meeting. So if I may ask you, what makes you happy in life?
Oh, clothes, please. That's what
Because
makes me. I know that was a very fast answer, but honestly speaking, I've just come to realize that looking good, that's just one of the first things that easily, instantly makes me happy. Looking good, smelling good, and yeah, I'm just that person. And obviously, there's a lot of other factors and there's a lot of other things, which includes just spending time with loved ones, because that's something that I really just feed from. Um, because those people are sort of like your why. You do work and you do all of these amazing things for the world out there, but it's pretty important to just be grounded in having, your people. So yeah, those are some of the things that really just make me happy. on a very high level.
Mm-mm. They say once you look good, you feel good. And once you feel good, you're ready to conquer the world.
Always, always.
Uh, mm. Right. So now, is there one thing that, okay, now let me just put it this way. What is one thing that you'll never change about yourself?
One thing, I
Mm,
think it's my personality, because the
mm,
way that I think, as much as I think I really just do love my brain, but it changes, and it's meant to evolve over time, because that's why we read books, that's why we equip ourselves with knowledge. But I think my personality, I really, that part of me is just really what I love.
wow, that's nice. It's the first time I hear somebody saying, I love my brain. Say,
No, I really do. There
I'm
will
gonna
be
steal
moments when I'm
that.
just like, I think
Uh,
I really like the brain, you know?
yeah.
Yeah, no, I really just do
Mm,
realize sometimes, like,
mm,
I think I
mm,
like, even though I say so
yeah,
myself, I really like the way that I think. But I
mm,
mean, that really just does evolve, and it's meant to
mm,
evolve.
At the level of confidence, it's top 10, I'm telling you. I like it. It's on point. And
Thank
also,
you.
like going through your profile, I noticed that you've been involved in so many things, including being in the tutoring space, in the research field, and also in the Mpuma Colony. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Mpuma Colony
You
Youth
are.
Initiative, and also the Asia
Yeah.
World Model United Nations Diplomats, Gradstar Top 500 2020, Activate Switch 2020, director, I mean, Design 101 director. Now, if so,
Yeah.
so to me, it shows that you're a lifelong learner who actually works on constantly progressing themselves into another, level of achievement. So, if I may ask, is
Mhm.
that something that you've always wanted? And if so, what inspired you to do so?
Um, That's a great question to start with. I
Thank
really
you.
do believe in
Mhm.
just constantly evolving. And I think even in my LinkedIn profile, it's just something that I've just come to embody, because I understand the need for it. In as much as it's important first to like be very attached with your identity, you need to be fully aware of who you are, where you come from, your experiences that you've had. And that makes it easier for you to then be able to embrace all of the other parts of you and all of the other journeys that come like prior to like understanding your identity. So I think evolving is important, because in some of the things that you've learned, as time goes, things change. So you need to be able to keep relevant, and to keep up with the times. So I really just do believe that in constantly learning, because you will never really know everything, in as much as you can like be very knowledgeable, but it's important to just keep open to learning, keep open to being corrected. And that's really just how we become even better people, because you can really just be overly confident and talk all you want, but it's also very important to listen, because in listening you learn a lot.
Mm, mm. Well, they even say that the world is constantly changing, and one way to keep up with
Yeah.
it is through learning, That's the only way to keep up with the ever-changing dynamics. And also, I like the fact that you said that you have to understand that you need to be open to learning. So, which means that, first of all, we need to understand that we are half, what you call this, half cups, half full cups, because if we tell ourselves that we are full cups, then there's nothing to pour into ourselves, and we're just gonna be stuck in the same place. Like you said, that it's very important that we keep
Yes.
on changing, because that's the only way to reach greater heights of success. And then also
Yeah.
looking at the things that you've been involved with, would you say that
Mm.
those are your major highlights of your career?
Yes, I would say that, because when I came to understand just LinkedIn
Mm,
as a social media space, because
mm,
initially I had opened my LinkedIn account. I'm pretty sure maybe most of us have, where you
mm,
open your
mm,
LinkedIn
mm,
account maybe a few years before you even know what it's about, because you'll be getting
Mm,
emails about this LinkedIn and all of that. So I
mm,
eventually succumbed to the pressure and I opened the LinkedIn account. And honestly, when you don't really follow people, you don't really know much of what's
mm,
happening around, the space.
mm,
So as I started tapping into the job market, I started seeing the importance of like setting yourself up in terms of like having a right LinkedIn profile. And obviously with an employer, employers want to know some of your top achievements, what makes you, a great person and all of that. So
mm,
with
mm,
that, you have to put out some of the things that you like have really achieved and you're proud to have achieved. So
mm,
yeah, I would like to think that all of the things that are in my profile are things that I'm really proud of, although there's like so many others. But you learn that with LinkedIn, you need to scale it down and you need to make it just about career, because it's a space that is designed to speak about careers, and that's where people get jobs, that's where people get like potential partnerships for businesses and things like that. So in order for them to be able to gauge that this type of person is within the bracket that I'm looking for in terms of like skills and knowledge. So yeah, I would say that it's one of the things that I'm proud to have achieved so far.
mm. Wow, it seems that you are happy with everything that you're doing.
Yes, because otherwise I
So,
wouldn't be doing
yeah.
it.
Yes,
Yeah.
no, that's a very great point. Hey, so looking at how far you've come with everything that you have achieved and everything that you look forward to in future, would you say that you love the past or the future more?
I love the future more. I
Mm,
love the future more. I'm not going to lie. I think for me, I'm driven by possibility. That's what inspires me, knowing that there's something greater on the other side, and that's just what keeps me going. It's a good thing, but somehow it can be a bad thing as well, because you will
mm,
find yourself in a chain of constantly chasing, the next goal, the next achievement, the next this and that.
mm,
And with that, because like we get so caught up and we get so busy, we forget to just be present in every moment and to focus on all the other things that make life beautiful. So yeah, I would say that like it's important to just always make sure that yes, you're looking for the next goal. The future is exciting, but
mm,
also being present in the moment. The past is also very important, and it's very attached to identity, like I mentioned earlier. You need to know exactly who you are, because
mm,
then you present yourself much better to other people. You then are able to express yourself a lot better, because you are fully aware of who you are and you are comfortable with everything that has happened in the past. Mistakes that have happened in the past, you've forgiven them, you've
mm,
learned from them, you've become better. Experiences from the
mm,
past have shaped the person that you are. So that is a very important part of you. But
mm,
the future is still the most exciting for me. I have sometimes the most ridiculous ideas, and like when even watching movies like that are like completely ridiculous, and you can tell that this is just like Back to the Future that I exaggerated. Those things excite me,
mm,
like as
mm,
lame as they seem, but I
mm,
just think that these are things that like people get to express themselves and the ideas of what they think the future looks like in a different way. So yeah, the future is more exciting to me.
mm, mm. You inspire me, hey, and I hope that you're inspiring others as well.
Not you,
There's so
already
much
being
more I'm
inspired.
learning. No, like there's so much that I'm learning from you, like things that I never heard before, things that I never thought of, they just come in like because I've been wondering like how do you keep up with all these things? Like where do you get time to actually achieve all these things that you've achieved? But I see now it's the passion. And speaking of passion, how do you
Yeah.
define passion, by the way?
I think passion is hunger, it's
Mm,
zeal, it's it's just also very attached to like possibility, and
mm,
passion for whatever you do really comes from you knowing what you want to achieve out of it, because
mm,
otherwise if you don't know the goal, then there wouldn't be passion for that. You need to know
mm,
exactly what you're trying to do. If you're selling cupcakes, you need to know what the end goal is, because otherwise, without the end goal, then you won't have passion and you won't be excited for what you're doing. So yeah, that's just my definition of passion. It's the hunger for the goal. You know, there's a goal that you've set for yourself, and the possibility of it, and knowing exactly what it's going to look like once you get to the other side. That's what then drives passion. It's that zeal and just wanting to have that thing that you've set yourself to achieve.
Wow. And as passionate as you are, would you recommend somebody to pursue the same career as the one that you're in?
I would. I
Mm,
honestly would.
mm,
And the reasons for that are because, like we said earlier, you need to
mm,
be to read the room very well. You need to know. You need to stay relevant. You need to know what's happening around your spaces. So if we were to like be quite honest right now, when you look at like everything that's data driven, whether it's artificial intelligence, machine learning, and pretty much everything that we use is data driven, and I think that's important. In the same way that if we were to put it in the form of like real life situations, data that comes from the past is very important for us to be able to determine like future results, or to be
mm,
able to see and study some of the trends, and then be able to predict some of the things that will happen in the future. So I think it's a really interesting career. Besides it being interesting, it's currently trending. And
mm,
also we see that like a lot of the things that we do now, like for example, maybe 20 years ago, had COVID hit, people would have stayed home and have not had a way to work from home. But because of how technology has advanced, now we're able to work. And I'm talking to you from like very far. I don't know where you are in the world, but we are here talking to each other. So I think it's very important to, when you choose a career, you need to align yourself with what's happening currently. And I'm not just saying just chase trends. It's important to know what it is that you want, but also be very upbeat, be very like on the lookout for what's happening around. Even if it's even with law, there's a lot of things that have evolved with law. Law is a career that's been there forever, but there's a lot of things that have evolved with it. So you need to just be on the lookout as to what will make you relevant and what will keep you learning and getting better. So yeah, I would recommend that somebody studies data science, because it's highly in demand. And living in South Africa, there's lack of jobs, and things like that. So it's really important that you equip yourself with skills that are currently on the line, that are like hot topics.
So you do believe that your career will still be in demand in the next 10 years?
I think so.
Mm,
But
mm,
with things like, for example, now it's a bit confusing, because these are the same things that we design ourselves. And then we see
mm,
that later in the future, they then start to become the same things that could potentially make us lose jobs. I don't really believe in that, though. I don't believe like random machines that we built could like make us run out of jobs. But I will say it's making things a lot easier, and as a result, there won't be a need for like mass production of certain things, because those machines do a lot of the repetitive and boring stuff, so that we could be more creative. So I do think it will exist, but it will exist in a much more different form that it does now. It will have evolved. So yeah, it's important that like you just stay on the lookout for, so how is now data science changing, how is data engineering changing. So with all of those trends, I still think that it's worth going to study a career in data science.
mm, mm. From what I'm hearing from you, it seems that this career, it didn't choose you. You chose this career because you seem to
It
be very
chose me.
passionate about it. Yeah.
What do you
Like you
mean it
chose,
chose
no,
me?
no, 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 not like it chose you. Like you chose the career. It didn't choose you because of the amount
No,
of
it
passion that
chose
you
me.
chose you. Ah,
Yes, it chose
mm,
me,
mm,
because I didn't know when maybe I was in high school that there's something called data science, like
mm,
I'm saying, it's something that's completely new.
mm,
And as I went, even with me studying mathematics, I had a
mm,
love or hate relationship with mathematics. I liked it,
mm,
it just didn't like me back. But for
mm,
some reason, I found myself in the field. Honestly, I don't know. I believe it's just like destiny. I believe in
mm,
destiny. I believe it being fate.
mm,
Because I found myself doing the same mathematics that didn't really like me much.
mm,
Um, and in that, I then discovered programming, and from programming, then I went on to further study data science. So in a way, it chose me because it's something that I discovered within the field. But I will say though, when I was younger, I always used to say that I want to be three things. I want to be a teacher, I want to be
mm,
a fashion designer, I want to be a data
mm,
scientist. I mean, a scientist. I didn't know about data then. All I was thinking in my head is, the lab coat person, like
mm,
always analyzing specimens. That's what my idea was. So then coming into school and growing up, I then realized that actually I did become a scientist, although it's not what I had imagined. But I think because of like constantly speaking that in to the universe and just always just thinking about that, working towards that goal is what made me land here. And in terms of a teacher, that's why I think I started joining tutoring and things like that, and constantly wanting to be on the other side of like teaching people whatever I have learned. Because in as much as yes, I learn and I won't know everything, but I believe in teaching people everything that I've learned so far, and how important it has been for me in my journey. And what else did I say? Fashion design, I live that every day. I don't have to design, but
mm,
I style
mm,
my own clothes in a
mm.
way that,
Wow. Mm,
makes me feel good about myself. So I really do think that in one way or the other, I did become those things. But in terms
mm,
of data science, it really did choose me. Although
mm,
I chose it, I
mm,
didn't know about data. I thought
mm,
about, other scientists. But yeah,
mm.
that's basically been my journey with becoming a data scientist.
Well, it found you prepared, eh? Like you've
It
been
found me
preparing for
ready. That's one
opportunities.
thing I'll
Yeah.
say.
Yeah, no, that's
It
great, eh?
found me
Because I
ready.
mean they say if you prepare for opportunities, once they come along, you're never gonna miss one. But if you don't prepare, you're gonna miss
I was so
them. So
prepared.
imagine if you're not prepared, you wouldn't have developed a love
It
for
would
it,
have
you know?
missed me.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't have
Mm,
even known that there's something called data
mm,
science, and I would have chosen a completely different career that's maybe in the
mm,
health department or whatever, because I was
mm,
applying for things like radiography and all of those things.
mm. Oh, wow, I see. Well, um, you did earlier on, you mentioned that you have to be aware of what's happening around you. So you need to know what's
Mm,
happening around you and stuff, right? So I just wanted to ask
sure,
you, right? What are the, if I may ask, what are the top three professional books that you've read? Because I believe that for you to know what's happening around you, that means that you've read some books that actually inspired you, and actually
sure,
helped you understand better what you do and stuff, and also how to get, what you call this, how to get to be aware of everything that happens around you. So if
sure.
back to the question that I asked, right? So what are the top three professional books that you've read?
I'll be very honest with you. I don't
Mm,
like reading professional books. They
mm,
bore me.
mm,
Um, I stay in touch with what's happening by just
mm,
looking in like around social media. I think that's just really what
mm,
has been um, my way of like attaining opportunity and like knowing what's happening around, just like from websites and things like that. So in terms of professional books, I won't really lie, I don't like reading them, but
mm,
I do remember reading some of the ones that I think it's data science for beginners, introduction to data science. Just forgetting what the author is. And there's another one. I think it's O'Reilly something. It's partly a website and it's partly a book, and all of those are just really related to data science. And there's another one, C++ for beginners. But all of those are partly textbooks in as much as they are professional books. So professional books I read just for the sake of like getting to understand what's happening in terms of like my studies, but just reading them for pleasure, no, not necessarily. I don't read them.
mm, mm. Well, wow. So, do you enjoy reading?
I do. I enjoy reading, but I
Mm,
enjoy reading a very different type of content than what you asked. The book that I'm currently
mm,
reading right now is by Williamson. It's called
mm,
A Return to Love.
mm,
I think I'm really enjoying. I enjoy books such as like biographies because I really just I'm interested in knowing a lot more about people and their journeys, understanding
mm,
the principles that, make them who they are. So that's the type of content that really just gets me interested. But also, to a certain degree, I do enjoy reading content that's like, I think it's called it's fiction. Yeah, I do enjoy reading fiction, although it's unrealistic and all of that.
mm,
Some people call it fables, but
mm,
one that really, really has impacted me and it changed my life in a way that I didn't think that it's that powerful. Just, just reading words, like knowing those things. I didn't think that, but it really has influenced me. It's called The Alchemist. I think everyone has read that book
mm,
by now, but trust me, every time I go back to read that book, it has a different lesson to offer. And I somehow find myself somewhere different in my life than when I read it before. So
mm.
yeah, those are the type of books that I like to read outside of the other, boring, super academic stuff.
Oh, well, it's a great content that you're sharing with us, hey, because I mean, I just wish I could keep on and going, like I could keep going and going, because I feel like
Yeah,
there's a lot more to learn from you. But I believe that I'm not the only one that's learning. I do believe that also our audience are they are learning as well. And also,
sure.
speaking of the audience learning, for those that would like to connect with you, where can they do that online?
So they can find me on the YouTube space as well. I'm here on YouTube as just Siviwe Boyce. I used to have a channel where I taught mathematics, but that didn't go so well with a lot because it was a long time ago. I was still a student myself. But yeah, that's where they can find me. It's Siviwe Boyce on social media, all social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and also on YouTube.
All right, I'll make sure that I put that at the bottom of the screen. Right.
Thank you.
So, in closing, I love to ask this question. Like you said, we have to keep on learning, right? So,
Yeah.
the word learning, what does it mean to you?
It means to acquire knowledge in
Mm,
very simple terms. It means to acquire knowledge. It means it's like your eyes being opened, basically, because that's what you need to be able to learn. You need to like see what's happening around you, hear what's happening around you. So yeah, learning is just simply for me acquiring knowledge, understanding it, and basically also just like putting it to good use because you can hear something and you cannot do anything about it. But I don't know if it does serve any purpose if you do not like action. You can read as many self-help books as you want, but all you need to do is to actually put the work in. You need to like put stuff into action. So yeah, that's what learning is for me. It's partly listening and also doing.
mm, mm. Plus, they say that you need to listen more because when you speak, you're repeating what you already know. So when you
True.
listen, there's actually much more to learn.
To
So
learn, yes.
So I just want to say also that, we live in a very busy world, and to sit down and just educate people with such great content, it's not easy, because I mean, every day we wake up, we're
True.
wondering, okay, now what are we gonna do? How are we gonna go to bed? What are we gonna learn and stuff like that? And we hardly have time. And for you to actually make time to come and share such a great content with us, it really means a lot to me and to our viewers. So like I just want to say
Oh,
thank you. Thank you
thank you
so,
so
so
much.
much.
Thank you for having
Yeah.
me. This was actually
No.
a very fun session. I didn't expect it to be like this fun. I thought it's going to be oh
Mm.
so serious. So Sibu, tell us, how do
No.
you derive this and that and that?
No, we keep it like what you call this legit, we don't like
Casual.
get too serious because sometimes being too serious can be boring. So you need to at least,
Yeah, it gets
smile
boring.
and laugh. So yeah, I'm glad that you enjoyed the
And all
show.
of
And I
those
would
things
say,
already sit in books.
yeah, true,
So there's
true.
no need for us to repeat all of that. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So like once again, thank you so much. And I look forward to a continued relationship.
Oh, thank you. I look forward to that as well. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
having me.
Mm,
Thank you guys. Please continue to subscribe to this channel. And you get to learn a lot about the people in the spaces in this channel. You get to understand
mm.
them a lot more. And you'll probably find your mentors on this page. So please do the right thing and continue subscribe and like. You can tell I'm a YouTuber. I've already switched back into my being a YouTuber. But thank you so much. I really do appreciate this
Mm,
opportunity. Thank you for having me. And I
mm.
look forward to chatting to you a lot more outside of the YouTube space.
I'll make sure that I provide the details, And thank you so, so much for even recommending this show, hey, because so many people don't see it that way. And the fact that you see it that way, it really means a lot to me and to the viewers as well. Like, really, thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
when you approached me, it was my first time seeing it, and I was like, this is
Mm,
really great. This is
mm,
probably what I was trying to do with my first tutor, but
mm,
that was a long time ago and it went south.
mm,
But this is really great.
mm. From every failure, there's always a lesson.
True.
True.
So thank you.
Right. Right. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it from the one and only Siviwe Boyce who came with such an amazing message to share with us. And I believe that the message that she has shared with us is going to sit in the hearts of many. And I also believe that it's actually going to help you grow and achieve those goals that you've set before you. So she has also mentioned that, what you need to acquire knowledge to actually understand what happens around you so you can take advantage of everything that happens around you, and that way that when opportunities come they find you ready. So without wasting time, ladies and gentlemen, please remember to like and subscribe, because once you like and subscribe, that means you don't miss any episode that we share. And that means also at the same time that you stay updated, and you stay knowledgeable, because I mean all this information that we share from you is coming from different people that have knowledge of everything that they do. So I hope you've enjoyed today's episode, and I hope that you've enjoyed the content. And please stay tuned for more episodes. Until next time, your one and only Divo Chivase.